由17000个岛屿组成的印尼，横跨亚洲和大洋洲，号称是全世界最大的群岛国家。印尼总人口数将近2.6亿，庞大的劳动人口带动经济成长。印尼连续2年的经济成长率超过5%。不过，印尼似乎还在适应经济起飞的速度。
在印尼雅加达，出门之前人家会问你上过厕所了没？不要觉得这个问题很奇怪，实在是因为雅加达塞车的状况太严重了。其实印尼的路不是不够宽，只是单向道太长了，开了很久很久都见不着红绿灯。另一个问题是交通建设太落后。搭公车随叫随停，还有车长先生跳上跳下赶人上下车。唯一好一点的是 BRT 系统有自己的专用道，塞车时间只有这专用道能畅行无阻。
雅加达号称是全球最会塞车的城市，但这塞车也塞出了商机。
很多人是在用他们的手机，用手机塞车的时候在做。然后他们要做什么呢？以前很多人是在玩，可是现在很多是用 e-commerce 选东西，塞车 equals e-commerce opportunity。
印尼电商市场才要起飞。TVBS 新闻廖广斌、方杰，印尼雅加达采访报道。
印尼是全球最大的穆斯林国家。
The 5 pillars of Islam are the basic acts considered obligatory, at least by Sunni Muslims. First is the Shahada, or the profession of faith. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is God's prophet, which is sometimes translated as there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is Allah's prophet, which tries to make Muslims sound other and ignores the fact that the Arabic word for God, whether you're Christian or Jewish or Muslim, is Allah. Second, Salah, or ritual prayer 5 times a day at dawn, noon, afternoon, sunset, and late evening, which are obligatory unless you haven't hit puberty, are too sick, or are menstruating. Keep it PG, thought bubble. Third, Psalm, the month-long fast during the month of Ramadan, in which Muslims do not eat or drink or smoke cigarettes during daylight hours. Since Ramadan is a lunar calendar month, it moves around the seasons, and obviously it's most fun during the winter, when the days are shorter, and least fun during the summer, when days are both long and hot. Fourth is zakat, or almsgiving, in which non-poor Muslims are required to give a percentage of their income to the poor. And lastly, Hajj, the pilgrimage to Mecca that Muslims must try to fulfill at least once in their lives, provided they are healthy and have enough money. Muslims believe that God sent Muhammad as the final prophet to bring people back to the one true religion, which involves the worship of and submission to a single and all-powerful God. But also, it's the written record of the revelations Muhammad received, which means it's not written from the point of view of people. It is seen as the actual word of God. The Quran says of the good person, spends his substance however much he himself may cherish it, upon his near of kin and the orphans and the needy and the wayfarer and the beggars, and for the freeing of human beings from bondage. These revelations also radically increase the rights of women and orphans.
There's a quote from Muhammad that people are equals like the teeth of a comb. To which I say, what's a comb?
As Goodwill Ambassador for UN Women 6 months ago. And the more I've spoken about feminism, the more I have realized that fighting for women's rights has too often become synonymous with man-hating. If there is one thing I know for certain, it is that this has to stop. When I was 8, I was confused being called bossy because I wanted to direct the plays that we would put on for our parents. When at 18, my male friends were unable to express their feelings. I've seen young men suffering from mental illness, unable to ask for help, for fear it would make them less of a man or less of a man. In fact, in the UK, suicide is the biggest killer of men between 20 to 49, eclipsing road accidents, cancer, and coronary heart disease. In 1997, Hillary Clinton made a famous speech in Beijing about women's rights. Sadly, many of the things that she wanted to change are still true today. But what stood out for me the most was that less than 30% of the audience were male. How can we affect change in the world when only half of it is invited or feel welcome to participate in the conversation? It's about freedom. I want men to take up this mantle so that their daughters, sisters, and mothers can be free from prejudice, but also so that their sons have permission to be vulnerable and human too. Reclaim those parts of themselves they abandoned, and in doing so, be a more true and complete version of themselves. If you believe in equality, you might be one of those inadvertent feminists that I spoke of earlier. And for this, I applaud you. We are struggling for a uniting word, but the good news is that we have a uniting movement. It is called He for She. I am inviting you to step forward, to be seen, and to ask yourself, if not me, who? If not now, when? Thank you very, very much.